Well, hi there, and welcome to Time to Talk Traumatic Brain Injury, the podcast for survivors, by survivors, for the entire brain injury community. I read this analogy on social media, and I just needed to share it with you. You're holding a cup of coffee when someone comes along and bumps into you, or shakes your arm, making you spill your coffee everywhere. Why did you spill the coffee? Because someone bumped into me? Wrong answer. You spilled the coffee because there was coffee in your cup. Had there been tea in the cup, you would have spilled tea. Whatever is inside the cup is what will spill out. Therefore, when life comes along and shakes you, which it will, whatever is inside you will come out. It's easy to fake it until you get rattled. So we have to ask the question, what's in my cup? When life gets tough, what spills over? Joy, gratefulness, peace, and humility? Or anger and bitterness, harsh words and reactions? Life provides the cup, you choose how to fill it. Today, let's work towards filling our cups with gratitude, forgiveness, joy, words of affirmation, and kindness, gentleness, and love for others. I think it's important to also remember that when the coffee spills out of your cup, the coffee doesn't just burn you, it burns the other people around you that lands on them. You have an unspoken social responsibility to make sure that your cup is full of something that doesn't burn and harm others. Making the world a better place starts with you and what you decide to put in the cup. Are you ready to fill your cup with greater goodness, but not sure where or how to start? I thought the Blue Sheet Clubhouse would be a great place to start and find out what brain injury survivors' cups are filled with now, after their injury and during the rehabilitation. I'm sure it began with anger and bitterness and harsh words and reactions, but I'm sure it's changed since it decided how to make their life a better, more productive place to be. So today, we're going to the Blue Sheet Clubhouse and finding out what is in the cup of brain injury survivors. Hello, Dawn. How are you today?
I'm doing okay,
That's
Greg.
good.
How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I've been looking so forward to talking to you about this topic today, what is in your cup. And Dawn, let's talk about what was in your cup before your head injury.
I was in a good relationship prior to my brain injury. I was also a driver. I had my own car, and I had been driving since I was 18 years old.
So everything was working out pretty well with your life. You were happy.
Yeah, I had my son Parker. He was living at home with me as well, and he had just started cadets.
Oh, wow.
So every Tuesday night I would drive him to cadets,
Okay.
and then Jerry and I would go for coffee. We'd go pick up a coffee, and then we'd go sit and watch the airplanes for a while, and then we'd pick up my son from cadets, and we'd head home.
So you're full of joy and gratitude and happiness and things. Now, when was your injury? How old were you when your injury happened?
Good question. I believe I was 37.
Okay. So let's talk about after your injury. What was your cup full of after your injury?
Depression, frustration.
And what would happen is during your injury, what happened if someone rattled you during your injury? What would come out of the cup?
I would start crying.
Okay. And I want to talk. I talked to you guys about when my cup was full of anger and resentment when after my injury, and when I was rattled. Oh boy, I really caused a lot of difficulty. I got in fights and I used bad language. And I was out of control because that was what my cup was full of, anger and resentment. And I wanted that. That's what spilled out. So for you, what spilled out was just anger as well.
Anger, tears, frustration.
Okay. That's not spilling out anymore, is it?
No.
Fantastic. So what is in your cup now during your rehabilitation and during your brain injury? It's been years have passed. What is your cup full of now?
Happiness, gratitude.
And why is that? What has changed?
What's changed
Yeah.
is that my family, my own family, my kids have grown up, and now I have grandkids
Yeah.
that can come and stay with me.
So things have developed since the injury and that has changed the actual component of the cup.
Yeah, that and getting into Mary Cridge Manor and getting my own place.
And you talk about having your own place. What does your own place do for you, Don?
It got me out from underneath my mom's thumb. I was living with my mom while I was recuperating from my brain injury.
Okay.
And my mom always had restrictions on me.
Did those restrictions cause anger and a little bit of resentment in your cup during that time?
It did.
So now that's over with. You have like a new life beginning. So your cup
do.
is now full of gratitude and happy because you've healed and things have happened and developed in your life.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Don.
You're welcome.
Okay, and now at the microphone we have our friend Eddie from the Blue Sheet Clubhouse. And Eddie, let's talk about what your cup was full of before your injury and what it is full of now or after your rehab. What's going on?
I'm going to be brutally honest here.
That's what it's all about.
So, just prior to my injury, I was full of stress and panic. I guess. I mean, I had a lot of my music clients and video clients were very much wanting the work that they had paid me for. So, I was very backed up, and I needed a lot of extra time to catch up with that. And
Were you feeling pressure?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I was taking drugs to hopefully get me through the work. It ended up getting me through life. So it's
Okay.
So see you later. But I didn't. Obviously, made it through that.
Good,
Through
thank
that.
God. Okay.
Yeah. And it's,
So obviously during that time you were under a lot of pressure professionally and people were wanting things from you and you were stressed, and when obviously it was a venue, maybe taking some medications or taking drugs was maybe a venue out to kind of ease the pressure and ease the pain. And since then you've recovered, thank God, and you're here at the Blue Sheet Club. And how are you feeling now, and what is your cup full of now, or has it changed to? So go ahead, Eddie. What is your cup full of now, or has it changed? Has the liquid changed? Has the composition of what's in your cup different?
yeah, I'd say it's different. It's very much full of appreciation for like McDonald House and people at the hospital that were so good, and it's just been very, very blessed ride since there.
Wonderful. So you're a true believer that things can change. Your cup, what's in your cup, can change based on circumstance, based on patience,
Oh,
based on
absolutely.
understanding. And if you got rattled now, which is I've never really seen you rattled in years. In a few years I've known you, what would it be like if you got rattled now? What would spill out of your cup if you got
I'd probably
rattled
just
now?
get quiet.
Just stay quiet.
No, I'd just like freeze up or get quiet.
You just absorb it, and
Yeah.
I kind of like.
I get like awkward and quiet when it's just like when I'm stressed, I guess.
Okay, so stress now. Obviously, you're healed wide and your rehabilitation is going well, and you don't need a venue to escape the pressure. And is there less pressure on you now? Is that the?
Oh yeah.
So less pressure to perform, and the pressure is now changed to gratitude and happiness with having a beautiful son, having a beautiful life, having your health back, getting to do all the activities, and just being Eddie again.
Rocking.
Fantastic, rocking. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it. And now at the microphone, obviously, we have a great member of Blue Sheet Clubhouse, Jim. And Jim, let's talk about your cup. And you're saying that your cup was a little bit different from these guys because yours wasn't from a injury or an incident at all. Tell us about your cup.
Mine has, according to information I have, the first serious brain injuries I could have received were when I was still in the womb due to actions taken by my parents. And then after I was born, early on, different things. This was explained to me by my father one time when I was about 40-something years old. And we had a highly dysfunctional and abusive relations in our families. Now, we just, our father passed away a few weeks ago, and we just laid him to rest.
Sorry about that, Jim.
He had a horribly difficult life. I learned these things. And so I'm going through the phase right now. My mother had passed away about 15 years ago. And according to him, they had played a role in why I had started out life already with deficits from being harmed. And then that continued on with multiple different concussions over the time period, different injuries, and then fast tracking to being 42, getting into recovery, spending most of my time, most of my life wondering what the hell was wrong, knowing something was wrong. It was obvious. I had started getting counseling long before I was 42 years old, looking at what's going on with me. Why am I having all these emotional difficulties? So like when people were talking about being frustrated and all those things, those are all the same things I've had my whole
your
life
cup was
trying
full
to function.
So your cup at that time was full of frustration.
Oh, sure.
too,
And then
anger.
people looking at you like, and it's like, yeah, well, of course there's, and then not knowing. Growing up, never succeeding in people that don't understand. Like even the medical people in those days had no clue, even though they might have had good intentions. So everything that all my friends here or the people in the groups here, since I got here really, when they're describing what life is like for them, there's times when I wished I had been 30, 40 years old before I got hurt.
Right. Huh.
But I've had a lot of counseling. I've had a lot of outpatient programs. I've been in a lot of therapy situations for years, 30 years. And then so what I've learned is that if I'm still capable of being out on the streets and not being institutionalized, then I needed to learn that I still have to take responsibility and there's things I have to learn.
Right.
Because what I learned was I was in fear all the time. Fear was the common denominator for the frustration. Fear was the common denominator for the low self-esteem. It drove me into suicidal thinking most of my life. Two of my other brothers grew up like that too as well. And then sitting there trying to live. And then hoping, trying, and failing all the time, going, why is this failing? And then when I went to the brain injury hospital on the Gorge at 42 years old, when I finally started to get sober and stopped doing drugs because I finally had a doctor that was helping me with this other stuff that knew the score, they were really surprised to see that I was happy and smiling when they told me that, well, holy cow, you've been like this most of your life. And I was like, well, you seem to be really happy about the news. And I go, well, yeah, I know this explains a whole lot of what's been going on.
Why are you going on?
But so the other thing was dealing with the issues of having parents like the ones I had and growing up where I lived. When I learned about why I'm the way I am mentally and emotionally with all the anger and the frustration and all that stuff, I started to learn why my father was the way he was. Then I started having empathy and compassion
For him.
and understanding, because I understand that his life was worse than mine. Whatever happened to him to make him the way he is, like so many millions of people, this stuff is happening to. They don't have anything to hand on. And I've never had kids. There's times when I'm grateful that I haven't. And then there's some parts of life that I'm missing. So even today with all this help, with all this counseling, with all the 12-step stuff that I've been doing, if I'm honest, there's every day, if I'm honest, I'm missing something. I'm frustrated about it. Then it comes down to when I learned about what altruism and benevolence really is. I was over 40 when I learned what those things are. That if I don't look after my handicaps, like there's simple instructions to follow, Like I was told when I heard 25 years ago that if I did what was asked, I could have compassion and empathy and understanding for my parents. And I didn't like hearing that at the time, but it all came true. And so how can I talk about my family situation without being destructive, accusing, and all this other stuff? I'm learning to try to talk about it in a way that's constructive for other people to understand it. Yes, no matter what we've been through, staying stuck in resentment and self-pity is a choice.
So let's talk about, to wrap it up, we talk about how it seems to me that your cup has changed quite a bit.
But it's-
what's in your cup it's stayed consistent, but in a way it's changed.
Well, it's like I try to share with people, instead of trying to have your past wiped out, it's impossible.
That's right.
Try to learn some new things to put in there with it. So, like if I'm honest, every day I go through parts of me that are still reacting. Then there's parts of me that have learned some new things of ways that I want to live. I believe that there's a spiritual solution to all my problems that helps me mentally and emotionally, and then in turn can help me physically. And if I live altruistically and have my life where I can be of service and be a help somewhere and allowing people to help me. I've been looked after my whole life since I was young when I was hurt. Something has looked after me. I don't know how I survived.
But you have, and now it's a chance for you to
And
give
now,
back.
since my father died
Yeah.
and that person's not alive anymore, there's nothing left to hold on to attach stuff to. I'm going through huge periods of gratitude going, how did this even happen?
Yeah.
Right? You talked about it too, right? And you too.
Yeah.
Mike.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
So really, what's happening is your cup now is refilled of blessing and gratitude and happiness, because you've absorbed everything over these years, and now it's time for it to spill
And
out
I
and get
still
back.
have people that I have in my life. I've said it a few times in the last week or two. Listen, and I got assertive. Like I tried to learn how to be assertive, and still without being mean. Listen, you know I have a deficit. I have a brain injury. I'm trying to do the best I can, and you know that. I'm actually trying hard here
Yeah,
because I care about you.
that's right.
And it's come out like that. Or not.
So your cup's full of pretty good stuff now, isn't it? It's a concoction.
There's more
Yeah,
stuff
exactly,
in there. Yeah,
exactly,
there's more
exactly.
of that. Yeah, and I'm learning for the first time in my life in the last 20 years, there's something that I was able to go, yes, I want to do that. Because most of my life was going, I don't know what to choose. I don't know what to do. Every time I pick something, it doesn't work out and it falls apart.
And now it's
But now living an altruistic life based on service as a way of living within my limitations, and also understanding that those limitations are only thoughts in my head too. That other things can happen. Like when we wrote that song came, man, like it was so amazing how that happened.
it all came together.
And then the results that everyone that's ever heard it since then has gone, wow, holy cow. But that was just from all of us.
I
doing
look
what
at it,
we're
it's
doing.
kind of cool, was that you and Eddie and Ryan are all cups, and you got all your cups were full, and during that song, things were spilling out. You were thinking, you're creating, you're developing,
Yeah.
and look what came out of the cup after that.
Exactly. And none of us could have prepared ourselves. I couldn't have imagined that happening like that.
No,
It's
Yeah,
amazing
it is
story.
amazing. It was an amazing story.
Yeah.
Thinking about myself in the heart of despair, looking for a way out, searching for air. With no doubt, you took those words from my mouth. Every little thing about my new headspace is here to stay. It will never be erased. 'Cause I'm on my way. I'm on my way to. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to. Feeling better than this. Maybe not yet, never resist and abolish being upset. This TBI is fierce, it's holding my skin. I need help from my peers, they'll help me begin. 'Cause I'm on my way, I'm on my way to, I'm on my way to feeling better than this. Maybe not yet, I'll never resist, but abolish being upset. Myself in the heart of despair, looking for a way out, searching for air. With no doubt, you took those words from my mouth. Every little thing about my new headspace is here to stay. It will never be erased. 'Cause I'm on my way, I'm on my way to, I'm on my way to, my way, I'm on my way to, I'm on my way to, I'm on my way, I'm on my way to, I'm on my way to.
Well, I thought that was a great way to end a very emotional and productive podcast. I want to thank everyone for participating. I hope this podcast meant a lot to you, as it meant a lot to the survivors and myself. Take good care of yourself. We'll look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks. Bye for now.
I'm on my way to, I'm on my way to, I'm on my way, I'm on my way to, I'm on my way to.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are solely those of the Time to Talk TBI panel and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of the Cridge Center for the Family Brain Injury Services staff. We value your feedback and comments. Please send us an email at tbipodcasts@cridge.org.